The Christian world was deeply divided for a brief moment in history, during which up to 3 popes were roaming Europe, during the Great Schism of the 14th and 15th centuries. This situation caused multiple disputes, mainly theological and political. Indeed, it was also political, since kings were choosing sides, which led to even more reasons to fight one another. For example, the King of France chose to support the papacy in Avignon, Clement VII, for many reasons, and one of them being that he was a French pope. Naturally, to oppose the French, the King of England chose to support the Pope in Rome. Therefore, the Church had to put an end to the division in order to reunite the Christian world once more. We can therefore ask ourselves, how did the Christian world solve this issue? There are many ways the Christian world tried to solve this power struggle. Notably, they attempted via sessionis, via facti, via conventionis, and most importantly, via conciliaris. Via sessionis consisted of France ceasing to pay its taxes to the papacy, therefore cutting off the Pope's main source of revenue. But this method failed, and French people being impatient, it led to via facti, which basically means military operations. Sometimes they were carried out in the form of a crusade. This approach did not work either, especially during the siege of the Pope's palace. The goal was to pressure the Pope into making a decision, namely abdication. As a side note, it was not the French kingdom itself that laid siege to the palace, but a French noble named Geoffrey Boucicaut, who was called upon by the cardinals of Benedict XIV. It is important to note that he was not sent by the French crown and acted as an independent party. During the siege, the Pope managed to flee by boat to a nearby territory, which made this military operation a failure. Another form of via facti was warfare between kingdoms. For example, France supported Benedict XIV, while England supported Gregory XII, which gave them another casus belli to fight each other. Then came via conventionis, which aimed to organize a meeting between the popes with mediators in order to resolve this issue. This meeting was organized in Savona in April 1407, where Benedict XIV and Gregory XII agreed that both of them would abdicate so that the council could elect another pope. So basically they lied to each other that they're gonna abdicate, and the real reason of the meeting is to force the other one to abdicate and to actually keep the power to themselves. Since both of the popes wanted to keep their power and believed themselves to be the legitimate pontiff. They therefore stalled for time, which ultimately led to nowhere. As a result, the final solution was via conciliaris. Near the end of the Grand Schism, an ecumenical council was called at Constance by one of the popes, Pope John XXIII, who did not have much choice, by the way. He attempted to legitimize his power and remain in office, but failed miserably and he was forced to abdicate. Why? It is because he was technically the third pope, and he had the least legitimacy out of the 3 popes that were roaming Europe. The council resulted in 2 major decrees: Haec Sancta in 1415, which granted more authority to ecumenical councils, and Frequens in 1417, which made councils periodic. It is important to note as well that previously councils could only be convened by the Pope. The goal was therefore to reduce papal power. This method of resolving the power struggle is known as conciliarism, via conciliaris. The council also deposed Benedict XIV and forced political powers to cut all ties with him. At first, this seemed like a great idea. Pope Martin V was elected during the Council of Constance, and all rival popes were deposed, as we said. During his reign, everything functioned relatively well, and conciliarism appeared to be effective. The Council of Pavia in 1423, which was quickly transferred to Siena because of the plague, was successful. Martin V demonstrated that he accepted this new balance of power, and both institutions coexisted peacefully. However, this harmony ended under Pope Eugene IV, with the Council of Basel in 1431, where another anti-pope, Felix V, was elected. This occurred because extreme conciliarists dominated the council. Pope Eugene IV attempted to move the council from Basel to Florence, but he did it so abruptly, and many interpreted this as an attempt to dissolve it. Because the decision was poorly executed, the conciliarists reacted by electing an anti-pope. Although Felix V did not last long due to his very low legitimacy, the episode still damaged the church as an institution. After this failure, the church chose to abandon conciliarism altogether and return to a system in which the pope held the majority of the power. The papacy regained control, and conciliarism was suppressed. It did not resurface in any significant way, as very few councils were called thereafter. Nevertheless, the major consequences of this ordeal was that the papal authority was no longer entirely unquestioned. Thank you for listening to my rant on this matter. If you enjoyed the video, it would be appreciated to leave a like. If you have any suggestions or any particular event you want me to cover, leave a comment. I will be really interested in reading all the comments you leave. And if you're interested in future history videos that I'm gonna make sure to leave a sub to be updated. See you until next time. Bye.